Every now and again, a game will come along and challenge what you knew about gaming. Whether it's about how good you think you are by presenting you with a real challenge, or if it's a game that takes a fresh new twist on a story and presents it in an entirely new way that opens your eyes. Sometimes it's a game that speaks in a way that really rings true to you, so it seems as if you're playing something made specifically for you. Other times, the game will have an art style that will leave you breathless and stunned. Gorogoa is all of these things, and none of these things really at the same time. Gorogoa is a hand-drawn art-style puzzle game by Jason Roberts. Developed over the course of around 6 years, it's a staggering piece of artwork. The game is played on a 2x2 grid with cards you can move around and stack on top of one another. These cards both tell the story and are the methods by which you solve the puzzles. The story is told without any dialogue and centres initially around a young boy who witnesses a monster and wishes to complete a ritual to seek it out. To do this, he must place 5 sacred coloured fruits into a bowl and offer it up to the sun. The story takes in his quest for the fruits and his travels along the way. Occasionally the game will leap around in time, taking in his recollection of events as an old man and his journey back to where the story ended. Throughout this, the themes of love, life, death, war, pain and ageing will be explored in a surprising amount of depth for a game that has no dialogue. But only if you look deep enough at the symbolism shown and really open yourself up to the game's themes and allow yourself to reflect upon them. I found it incredible how a story told over the medium of 4 or less squares could convey such a sense of journey and of adventure, and then later on, such a sense of loss and yearning. The game bounces around the timeline of the story, but the way everything's incorporated back together is truly genius. You're never lost at all for a second, and you're always striving to know more and advance the game. I was enthralled from start to finish. I don't really want to spend too long on the artwork. Not because I don't think it's nice, it's truly gorgeous and stunning. If you're a game art designer or a director and you're not wishing you had the skill to make this game, just quit. You've no clue what you're doing. Anyway, the main reason I don't want to spend long on the artwork is because there's not enough time between now and the heat death of the universe, and there's only so many adjectives I can use. I could literally spend hours waxing lyrical about this game's artwork and not get close to conveying how good I feel this game truly looks. Sure, you only have to see it for yourself. Oh, look at it, it's such a great looking game. Okay, so that's about as far as I want to get into how good the game looks. But how does it play? The mechanics of the game are exceptionally well told. If you've not recently received a sharp blow to the head, then it'll take you no more than 5 minutes to fully get the grips with the gameplay and how you should be looking at solving the puzzles. The puzzles are a curious mix of artwork-based spatial reasoning and lateral thinking, and they're all fucking brilliant. Make no mistake when I tell you that I've not played a puzzle game that has challenged me in the ways Gorogoa has. The solutions are all there, but they're really cleverly hidden with some really good sequences to make you think your way through it. This is not a puzzle game whereby you simply click everything onto everything else and the solution will reveal itself to you like you've just completed some rite of fucking passage. Nor will you be able to solve any of the puzzles without truly understanding what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. It's a true mastery that can pull this off without the game feeling constricting or feeling like making the player feel like you've been railroaded through a bunch of puzzle-based set pieces. Some of the puzzles are genuine head scratchers too. There were loud shouts of glee whenever I discover a new solution, quite often when playing this game. A special mention has to go to the music directed by Joel Korolitz. It's perfect. It takes you gently through the game like a nice sonic stream for your emotions, and it adds a perfect amount of weight to each scene, regardless if you're in a garden trying to figure out how to reanimate an apple, to trying to light a lamp on a shelf in the midst of a war zone. The music is the ideal companion, and it encapsulates the mood for each setting just right. Given that Joel is prior with this, as he's directed the music for the heart-wrenching The Unfinished Swan, I'd say this is a guy who's going to be soundtracking some of the best games around for decades to come. Another amazing accomplishment is that, despite containing a vast array of images from various different landscapes, none of the shifts in different scenes seem to clash or jar. Each successive image complements and reinforces the other and provides an ideal bridge to the next. The amount of thought that must have gone into how each image worked is truly amazing. The story is a curious one. Despite being told out of order and from a number of different perspectives without any narration, it's an intensely personal one. I suppose everybody who plays this game will wind up with their own version of what the story means, and the genius of it is they could all be right. It just depends on what you take from the different angles of the story. I found the old man reflecting on the quest he undertook as a boy as something that he'd lost, and a sense of longing for a time in his youth where his world was an adventure waiting to be lived as opposed to what it would turn out to be: long-term injury recovery in a wheelchair, war, destruction, loss, seeing the world he saw destroyed be rebuilt, and it made him pine for his long past days. It's a sense we all get as we get older and move on from periods in our lives. Looking back, we really get to appreciate what we had, and the sense that it's gone and that you'll never be able to feel like that again can be a crushing one. Some people never get over it. Longing and nostalgia can be incredibly heavy baggage to shift. The horrible feeling that you had it so good and didn't realise it, and should have gotten even more than you did out of your life, is one that often haunts people to their deathbeds. It can quite literally be the last thing someone thinks about before they die. That's terrifying to think about. I believe the monster is the old man's acceptance that he did as much as he could, and that he should embrace the adventures of his young life and be proud of them, rather than pine to relive them or regret that he didn't do more. The monster that gets him is his self-acceptance, something few people ever really get. Anyway, if you're wondering how a sliding block style puzzle game with no narration and a 95-minute playtime, if you're not caught staring at the gorgeous artwork all the time, manages to cram this kind of deep introspective storyline in, you'll just have to play it. And you should. I really, really hope you do. And I also really hope you get as much out of this game as I did. A short, perfect little slice of excellence.